Oh, Casa Bonita. It is a wonderland located in Colorado, made famous, of course, by Trey Parker and Matt Stone of South Park fame. An entire episode dedicated to that beautiful land, Casa Bonita, a Mexican restaurant, but so much more. Well, there's a lot riding on South Park into the Panderverse, and it is perhaps more than you might imagine. You see, folks, how that does will likely show how South Park will continue to do, even as it tries to jump through hurdles that are imposed upon it by lawsuits that are currently taking place. It needs viewership. Why does it need viewership? Because the future of perhaps more Casa Bonitas across the country, well, it depends on South Park into the Panderverse. Hello, folks. No pandering here. We're happy to have each and every one of you. It's always a pleasure. And today we are talking about South Park into the Panderverse. If you like content like this, consider clicking the like button. You know what, folks? The Casa Bonita episode is one of the favorites of South Park fans. Now, Trey Parker and Matt Stone are getting ready to invest vast sums of money, even after they've already done so, into Casa Bonita. What does it mean? Well, we're here to tell you that it may mean more restaurants. We don't know that for sure. But the amounts we're talking about are gargantuan. They're bigger than Eric Cartman after a trip to KFC. Now we're going to see what happens. And partially, they are tying this to the success of South Park. It's really interesting. We think you're going to enjoy this conversation today as we dive into Trey Parker and Matt Stone and what they are up to over there. Do they have bigger plans than just one Casa Bonita location? Let's find out right now. So here we go. This out of 9 News, Colorado. South Park creators Trey Parker, Matt Stone said to be in talks with the Carlyle Group for a loan deal. Pay attention to these numbers as we talk about them. Trey Parker and Matt Stone signed one of the richest contracts in TV history in 2021, valued at more than $900 million over 6 years with Viacom CBS. DC private equity firm the Carlyle Group appears to be getting into business with the owners of the iconic Mexican restaurant Casa Bonita in Lakewood and the creators of South Park, the long-running animated sitcom based on the titular Colorado town. According to Bloomberg, the South Park media company owned by South Park creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone is in discussions with the Carlyle Group for a private loan valued at $800 million that would be used to refinance an existing credit facility and fund a cash payout. The loan would be backed by the intellectual property from the TV show, as well as related properties from the show creators, who are also behind the Tony Award-winning musical, The Book of Mormon. The loan would be made through Carlyle's credit arm and refinance an existing $600 million debt facility provided by HPS Investment Partners in 2021, according to the report. Now, what does all of this have to do with anything? Well, here's what it has to do with, folks. Trey Parker and Matt Stone actually need to do quite well with South Park the Pandering in order to have the kinds of funds that they would like to have to show the Carlyle Group that they've got a good investment, that South Park is still a show that is highly relevant. If it shows poorly, well, that would be very bad, and they're trying to come up with huge amounts of money for Casa Bonita. That gives me the thought, and this is just a thought, that they may be wanting to franchise Casa Bonita and put more than just what is already established. Otherwise, I don't see how you would need these kinds of figures for a restaurant that is essentially up and running and done. Now, I don't know that to be true.
Let me just say that there's a member of the audience that hasn't watched South Park since, say, 2002.
Sure.
What is Casa Bonita?
All right, let's explain it. Casa Bonita is a restaurant in Colorado that is, it's been kind of a campy place, highly themed. It's got a waterfall. You've got these people who jump in and dive into the water, but they serve Mexican food. It's kind of like if Chuck E. Cheese was Mexican and went insane with the amount of money they spent on the restaurant. So
kind of like Mexican Disney World at a restaurant.
Exactly.
This sounds amazing.
So this was featured in a South Park episode. It was about to be closed for good. Trey Parker and Matt Stone, the creators of South Park, stepped in and said, we want to buy Casa Bonita and save it. And they managed to do so. And it's now open and running, and it has rave reviews. Now, Trey Parker and Matt Stone are taking out this massive loan that surely cannot just be for that restaurant, although maybe it is. And at the same time, they're using their own show, South Park, as the means by which to secure the loan. What that means is South Park needs to continue to prove that it is a viable and highly influential show capable of bringing in massive money. Now, here's the thing. The wackos of a particular political persuasion right now despise what South Park The Pandering is getting ready to do. And yet Trey Parker and Matt Stone probably both know that what they're doing, i.e. taking on Disney, is incredibly popular right now. So you have those two forces coming together in conflict. Tom, I think you may have some thoughts on this. What is your opinion about how this is going to play out?
As far as the money goes, I mean, it's almost like a guarantee, right? Like that's what they're doing. They're putting up, because for those who don't know where they mentioned it in here, Viacom gave them this huge mega deal, like probably the biggest deal I think anybody's ever gotten in the history of television, for $1 billion.
And so far almost. It's played out. So far,
exactly,
it's
yeah,
working.
Like the only thing that's not going their way, and this is Paramount's own fault, is they're getting sued by Warner Brothers over the deal. But that's a whole nother discussion to get into. That has nothing really to do with Trey and Matt. What they're doing here is they're using that $1 billion or almost $1 billion payday that they just got, and they're basically putting that up to pay for this loan. And I agree with you, Pro. I think that they're probably not only updating the original Casa Bonita, but they're probably going to deck it out with a lot of South Park stuff.
Well, I think there's going to be more than one location.
I was just going to say, and they probably will franchise it, and it'll basically be the equivalent of the South Park restaurant, right?
Because otherwise, I mean, these numbers are insane. You can build theme parks off of this.
Yeah. But I mean, that's what I'm saying. You're right. Because like you can't be spending, like there's no way you're spending $800 million on one location. No way.
Okay, I thought of it, Tom. Here's how to describe what Casa Bonita is like. It's like if a Mexican restaurant and Buc-ee's had a baby.
Oh, wow.
Kind of, but I mean, it's very much its own thing at the same time. But like all you got to do is go watch the Casa Bonita episode. They are not exaggerating in that episode. That is exactly what it is. And that was just Trey and Matt doing their memories from going there as kids all the time, basically. I would imagine it'd be the closest, but I think the Chuck E. Cheese is probably the closest thing you can kind of compare to it for what a kid could understand what it is. You know, when you're a kid, I mean, the excitement of going, oh, we're going to Casa Bonita. It's like, whoa, hold up, stop the clock. You know, like we're going to Casa Bonita. Yeah. Like that very rare thing, I'm sure for kids, it was really geared towards kids, but now I think you're right. I think they're going to really kind of aim towards that, 40-something-year-old nostalgic value. I think they're really going to play up the South Park themes. I wouldn't be surprised if, like, you see, like, big cartmans as you walk in the door and such, or even have him, like, look like a big ceramic standee by, like, the water slide of him going down the water slide. You know what I mean? Like, I can definitely see them infusing a lot of South Park into Casa Bonita and franchising it, like you said.
I think an East Coast Casa Bonita would make a lot of money. I think with
$800 million, you could probably build about 8 of them.
Yeah, well, it's got to be prohibitive.
Or $200 million for 4. There you go.
Inflation, right? I mean, $1 million is not what it used to be, but
you're right. Like you get one in New York, one in LA, one in somewhere on the Southwest.
One in Orlando.
Yeah, maybe Orlando, something like that.
Or one in Atlanta, wherever you want.
Maybe Chicago, just so you get Middle America.
Yep,
exactly.
Good comment from DL Fendel. It will not be a franchise, guys. Franchise has local owners buying a license.
Right, so not like a franchise like that. That's true. DL is they'll totally own them themselves. Yes.
In addition,
we grant Fendel that one. Yeah.
They're opening other locations. Let's say that would be the better way of putting it. I believe, though.
That's right.
Can I ask you a question about the whole Panderverse thing, though?
Please.
So, is the whole thing with the Panderverse going to be kind of like what they did with the original movie? Where like the plot was about the kids trying to go see a movie that they're not allowed to see, and now Panderverse is basically kind of like the same thing.
And Saddam Hussein has a relationship with.
We don't know yet, Wilton, because it's not out. It comes out tomorrow, and the best we can figure is they're going to mock Disney. That's the best we've got. They're going to mock the mantle strategy that so many people out there despise, and which Marvel and Star Wars both ascribe to. But as in terms of will it be like the movie, I don't know yet.
And do you think though that it's a little bit overhyped?
Impossible.
I won't know until tomorrow, where we'll be doing the review tomorrow for a special member live stream. And then, We will know
after the live stream.
I think it's kind of historical.
Yeah, for real?
Yeah, I mean, South Park is kind of the bastion of this, and once they say enough's enough, then other people know it's okay to start making fun of it.
That's a good point.
Like their whole episode was kind of all about that, right? Like their whole question, it wasn't about the so much as just like they were just kind of sick and tired of being bombarded with this. Oh, you can't joke about that. You can't joke about that. So they're like, their response is, okay, so how long is it? Do you have to wait that it's safe to joke about something? Then, like that was the whole joke of the episode, right? And you know, look, they're the guys that are going to say it, and when nobody else will. I mean, there's been a few other people that have been kind of pointing it out, but I think this is going to be the one that really kind of pushes it over the edge. To where people finally go, yeah, this whole gender swapping, race swapping thing isn't working. It's
so
not
how much damage do you think this could do to the Marvels, the movie then?
Specifically, I don't know. But I think general, I think Disney's definitely in their targets for this.
Hughes, your thoughts?
Well, I gotta say this though. For one, this may make me want to go ahead and get a Paramount Plus account and go ahead. And get a for it. But also, I can automatically tell you that the backlash is. I wouldn't even call it a backlash. More like the fans would actually show Disney as well as these other big time mainstream companies that, you know, they attack this stuff. And also, as far as ratings is concerned and everything, remember, the creators of South Park, they're both libertarians. Okay, they're libertarians, and they don't like, you know, they make fun of everybody basically on the left or the right. That's one thing people don't even understand, especially those who are from a particular political spectrum. All right, they don't like anybody from the left or the right. Okay, because simple fact, I wouldn't say don't like these. They simply make fun of them because of the simple fact that, you know, it's like they're just showing their true colors.
It's fair.
There you go.
Point.
Fair point.
They've been taking contrarian political stances for a very long time.
Yeah.
Anti-establishment stances for a long time. I've already got Paramount Plus, but I've got it for Frasier right now. So,
well, you know, here's the thing too, Jonas. I mean, imagine how many Paramount subscriptions are about to happen.
They need it. They need it. They need more. They need to build that app on more than Yellowstone and the hope of more Star Trek. Because yikes!
Well, you're right. Because this is what South Park needed, and this is what I've been trying to tell people. Because they did kind of have I'm sure they had a bit of a fall off after the election. Because they really kind of painted themselves into a corner with the whole.
Oh yeah, and it was a bad strategic choice too.
It was
not in terms of like you shouldn't make fun of Trump, but rather that if you lock one of your most popular characters into that, how do you get out of it?
That's what I mean. Exactly. They were kind of stuck in this corner with him for years, so they kind of wrote him off the show for a while, and then he kind of pop up periodically. But what happened is they did the Streaming Wars special. And once they did that, they have been firing on all cylinders. Every episode has been on the level of classic South Park. If you haven't seen this last season up through the COVID specials were kind of lame, but you could tell they were still kind of trying to regain their footing after all of this. It was once they did that Streaming Wars special that really nailed it. Because what's funny is that's what their lawsuit is all about right now. They did that episode before Warner Brothers sued Paramount. And what's funny is how that episode kind of telegraphs the whole thing, because what they're being sued for is what that whole special was about. And that was the boys were like working for all these different people, making them their little streaming boat things. And that was kind of the whole joke, is that Warner Brothers is suing Paramount for doing these South Park specials, because Warner Brothers has the exclusive rights to South Park. So Warner Brothers is just arguing these are glorified episodes that you're confusing the audience with. And that's kind of what that whole episode was about.
True that. No doubt about it.
Weird. So definitely check it out, guys, if you haven't seen it, especially leading up to this Panderverse episode. I think it's a good way to kind of wet your whistle on some South Park again.
All right, folks, we hope that conversation was smoother than the smoothest queso dip you've ever seen. We hope that it was spicier than the jalapeno-infused guacamole that you had at the latest trip to your Mexicano restaurante. I know that's not how you say it. I speak Spanish. I said it to be funny. Ha ha. Well, folks, something that's not funny is we need you to click the like button. We really do. Click share, subscribe, and when you click it, you stick it to the algorithms. It's the notification bell. Don't forget, folks, that the Pro Show is live every Thursday, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We'd love to have you there. And finally, of course, drop a comment down below. We cover your comments. We care about what you think. We read them. We often respond. That's a wrap for today, folks. We hope you respect your authority to watch South Park the Panderverse. Go have a good time with it. All right, folks, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.